Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right, man. Thursday, we are here again. It's the boys from the RecRoom Sports Radio Show. I am your host, K Witt. We got Uncle Scott. We got Bobby G. The whole gang is here. Gentlemen, I'm so excited. We got a action-packed show. We got guests. We got topics. We got tickets to give away, too, in the first hour because I don't know if you know, gentlemen, but the Jacksonville Waves have a doubleheader against the Savannah Steel this weekend. So they're playing Friday and they're playing Sunday. I got tickets to give away, so we're going to go ahead and give them away in the first hour. Bobby, tell them the number now, just so you can go ahead and warm them up.
Lego 904-362-9901. That's 904-362-9901.
Hey, man, Bobby G gave y'all the phone number. Uncle Scott's in the building. We might as well start the show.
This is RecRoom Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go. We ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic or your boy K Witt. Joe is my coach, T Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fist. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One time for your mind, man. It's your boy K Witt, your mama's number one draft pick. We are live from the Anajar and Levine studios. It's the gang from the RecRoom Sports Radio Show. Oh, man. Crazy things from last week to this week. It's been so much development. I don't know where to start, guys. But, of course, I got the homies with me. Of course, Cleveland's on, but Las Vegas is home. From the Honorable Sports Podcast where life and sports meet culture and Game Time 216. We got Bobby G. Bobby G, what's good? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, LeBron, hurry up, man. Just hurry up, bro. I'm tired. I want to see something else hit the news side. Just hurry up, bro. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm going here. That's okay. Send it out on X, and we done.
There you go, right?
Come on.
I don't want to tell you, Bobby. LeBron, I don't want to tell you. I'm just going to hold it off. I'm going to hold it off.
Hold off the news, Uncle Scott.
What is the big secret, LeBron? What is the huge secret to hold it off? Are you going to Golden State? Are you going to Cleveland? Are you going to Philadelphia? Or are you going to an X team? Who knows?
Well, we'll never know, but of course, Uncle Scott has the phone lines open, so when he gets the call, we'll know what's going on. Uncle Scott, thanks for joining us again.
What's up? Happy to be here. Great day. Thursday is the best place to be. ESPN Radio Jacksonville, 690.
That's right. And of course, everybody knows it's ESPN, so we are celebrating V-Week. Yeah. Get right. Represent for anyone in or around your vicinity who has fought and battled through cancer. Remember, 100%, 100 of that money when you get one of those cool things that they're auctioning off is going towards cancer research. They're giving away helmets. I think we need to pull somebody together, guys. They got like a fantasy ESPN radio experience where like you or me and 10 of my friends can go show up at ESPN Radio in Connecticut and do the draft with some of the best from ESPN. I don't know if that's cheating or if they just go like watch us do it, but that sounds dope to me. Let's go to ESPN Radio Connecticut and have a draft and film it. We're gonna take Brian too. Brian gonna be one of our 10.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of scary. We might get banned.
We might. We have too much fun during fantasy football. I can't wait to get started with that. But guys, you know what it is, man. Top of the show. We got to do what we do, man. We're going to go ahead and give them shout outs, man. So make sure everybody, you are following us on Twitter at RecRoom Sports, on IG _RecRoom Sports, TikTok at RecRoom Sports Hub, and on YouTube at THEE RecRoom Sports Hub. Big shouts out to all of my drivers out there, man. All of my delivery people. You working for Uber, you doing DoorDash. Did you pick up somebody's grandma today? Are you delivering McDonald's to somebody's house for like the third time? We understand. Get that money. And all my truck drivers, big shouts out to you as well. We're going to figure out where Jay is as well. Can't wait to find that out. But of course, top of the show, guys, you know what we do, man. We got to figure out what happened last week. So we're going to do a little something we like to call What's the Word? Okay, so right about now, everybody knows this is one of those special times of the year where we get to watch the draft selections from this year's 2026 draft, brand new, fresh out the box, go in from Orlando and Utah and Las Vegas. But the number 1 and number 2 players from this draft went head-to-head in the matchup, and, of course, it was all eyes on Vegas, okay? And, I would say, and I'm sure Uncle Scott would say the same thing, AJ DeBanster did not disappoint, okay? 27.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Gentlemen, what's the word for AJ doing what he do and putting on a show against his competition who ended up going to Utah? Hold up, son. What's the word? Bobby G, what you think?
Shame.
It's a shame.
It's a shame he got drafted by the Washington Wizards. Come on, man. Anybody but them, man.
Anybody but Washington.
Anybody but them, man. The kid's fantastic, man. We knew he was talented, and he's going to live up to that number 1 pick, standard. He's got so much more potential to grow. Wait till you learn the post game. Wait till he cleans up his footwork. Wait till he improves that mid range. Like we could be looking at Tracy McGrady type player.
Not the T-Mac comparison.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Hey, you got it, Uncle Scott. I need to know what you're thinking when it comes to that AJ DeBanster output for the first couple games.
So before my word, Bobby, he won't learn any of those things in Washington, unfortunately. I agree.
Oh, wow.
Stud. He's going to be really, really good for the next decade. I agree, Bobby. Washington, why couldn't you take a boozer?
They're going to try. They're going to try, bro.
Trey Young going to set him up 30 times a game, 20 times a game? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But he's a stud. He's a stud.
He's going to have to learn to pick and roll. He's going to be the roll guy. He's got the athleticism. He can get to the dunker spot. He can take off. If they're paying attention the right way, he's going to do really well in Washington. So my word is going to be efficient. Yeah, because that next game he went out there and did 23, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. So that shows me he plays defense at a high level. Of course, that's not the full-fledged competition he will be playing against, but when he's out there against his peers, we know he's the number 1 pick. You can tell. You can see it with your own eyes. You don't got to ask nobody what the stat line is. You can tell he is number 1. Now, as we continue on, something happened at Vegas. I feel like Bobby should have told us about it first and reported it, but otherwise, we just gonna cover a little bit of that muckety muck real quick.
I ain't no snitch.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's what they say, but this got out. So what happens in Vegas did stay this time because you know what? Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero apparently had a little bit of a scuffle on one of the courts in Vegas after they had words. And it wasn't just words. There was a little bit of fisticuffs. And I can only imagine that Bam Adebayo got his shots off, if you will. So when you hear about ex-teammates fighting in the Summer League, vicinity, I need to know, gentlemen. Hold up, son. What's the word for being separated from your homies?
Duck. It's the word, duck, man.
Duck.
You can't just be talking trash about people, knowing you're gonna be places where they be and run into them. If you're gonna talk trash about people, you gotta learn how to do one or two things: either fight or duck.
Right.
You gotta learn how to do one of the two things. Fight so you can fight back, because even if you take the L, you'll be respected. Or learn how to duck. That way you can duck around while you explaining why you shouldn't get your tail whooped on.
Uncle Scott, when it comes to that scuffle, man, what's the word?
Expected. Bam probably had no inkling to go to Vegas until he found out Tyler Hero was going to be there, and then he said, I'm on the next plane to Vegas.
No, that's the worst part, Scott. Tyler Hero, he's going to be in Vegas. Remember, his girlfriend is Asia Wilson.
Hello.
Oh, that's right.
He's going to be here.
Right. Oh, I forgot about that.
He's definitely going to be with his boo. They be booed
first
up.
thing Bam did when he got to the arena was, "Where's Tyler? Where's Tyler?"
Right.
I gotta talk
Anybody
to
see
him.
Tyler?
Anybody see Tyler? Where is he?
Yeah,
He
right.
found him.
And of course, my word is going to be evade. That's right. EVAD. Evade the controversy. Evade the issue. You should have known that Twitter feed and those DMs to a quote unquote burner account were going to get linked, because apparently the gentleman was only suggesting that Tyler Hero retire. But Tyler, getting in his feelings and emotions like people do when they're on the phones and they're on them keyboards, he went ahead and said, "Why should I retire? They was game planning for me during this game. I'm not even the most highest paid player. X, Y, and Z. What about that? Come on, bro. You gotta get out of that, because some way, somehow, the information that you're spewing, whether it be true or false, should have and did get back to the person you were talking about. You learned that in high school. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even have phones and text messages in high school, but I know if I told somebody at A lunch about somebody I didn't like at B lunch, by the end of the day, it was going to get back to me. We was going to have to square up. Okay? I'm from the old school. Meet me in the bathroom.
Wait, by the way, we're very in the lead story here. How the heck did Tyler Hero end up with Asia Wilson? How the heck?
You mean Bam at a
no, Bam. Bam is with Asia.
Oh, Bam is with Asia.
Yeah.
How did Bam end up with Asia?
Hey, man, shoot. Apparently he got 8 points, so he got that bucket. Okay. He went out there and got that bucket. And Asia Wilson, they are booed up. I don't know if you see the videos and commercials. Asia Wilson is with that. So big shout out to Bam Adebayo for landing that one.
Yeah, super official because Bam pranked her.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he pranked her on the Anthony Davis prank show. So it's super. If you can prank, when you can prank your lady, it's official. That's like a wedding ring. If I can prank you and you not kill me, we good.
I am Bam Adebayo's #1 fan now.
Completely. There you go. Bam, laughter, man. Make your lady laugh, fellas. That's a letter right there. Make your lady laugh and keep it a little longer. And then last but not least, man, we got to talk about this, because I think this is somewhat important, because guess what? Somehow, some way, we reported it last week. The Kawhi Leonard trade to Toronto has been rescinded by Commissioner Adam Silver. I don't know where, but there's a radio show on ESPN 690 where they mentioned that about a week or so ago. I feel as though y'all should go back and look at that 2 weeks, because I said that, hey, he is ducking them people. Okay, I said it. So when you hear about this now, Uncle Scott, do me a favor. Tell me what's the word.
Stupidity.
Ooh, that's
Kawhi, you're stupid. You can't be dodging people. They're gonna catch you. Even if you go over the ball, they're gonna catch you. You have to come back to the United States to play games. They're gonna get you. So stupidity. Kawhi's stupid on this.
Yeah, shell company. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Bobby G, what's the word for Kawhi trying to run to the border?
Give us free. Look, man. I said this last night on the Ball and Buzz show. Shout out to Omar, the sports professor, Fonseca. And I'm gonna try and say a clean version right now. This country was built on a certain type of people building generational wealth by moving around and hiding their money. Now that Kawhi, now that one of my folks does it, now we got a problem with it.
Now we got a problem
with it. Because we have a nice man, and Mr. Ballmer passing on that knowledge to the culture, showing us the game, giving us the game on how to move this money around so we can keep our generation. Now y'all got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
why now? Why now? So Kawhi, I ain't been on your side a lot, but I got you today. I got you today.
And I got a word too, okay? Y'all know what it is, man. So I said it last week. I said it before. He's ducking the people. But my word today, Lawyer. That's right. Go get one. You got a lot of money. Okay. You got plenty of bread. It's California. It's some good lawyers out there. Don't get one. Don't get two. Get about 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody knows international law that says, if I go across the border, does it still count? Do I still have to pay the penance for this? What about What about Uncle Dennis and all of this? Go look it up. Y'all know Kawhi Leonard's representation includes, quote unquote, his Uncle Dennis. And if you go look at Pablo Torre finds out, big shout out to Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre finds out, he went in depth and said that Uncle Dennis tried to orchestrate the same deal in Toronto after the championship was won, which kind of led to him moving because, at the time, the brain trust of the Toronto Raptors were not agreeing to it. And since they didn't, Uncle Dennis and them said, okay, well, just trade us then. At the peak of his value, and he went to the Clippers, and Steve Ballmer, unbeknownst to him, signed off on the idea that he could be a part of the shell company and have absolutely no responsibility and circumvent some of the NBA's cap laws, which, of course, is a big no-no in the world of the NBA. You gotta stay up. I don't care how much you're getting paid, but you can't pay him extra outside of the rules of the NBA just because he's that good. And he wasn't even there. That's the craziest part. Kawhi was sitting down for half the time. On the paperwork, he don't got to show up to work or anything, but he's still gonna get paid. Yeah,
it's the American way.
Yeah, right. It's the American way. And literally,
Pablo, get out people's business.
Hey man, but you know what? As we continue on, you know what? I gotta talk about something. So everybody every once in a while has a good week or so, a good stretch of things that happen to them. Uncle Scott, you've had some good weeks. Bobby, you've had some good weeks, but these people in particular have had some awesome weeks since we last talked last Thursday. So let's talk about the best week ever, okay? You could be Sophie Cunningham, you could be Gary Trent Jr., or you could be Gable Stevenson, okay, if y'all don't know. So Sophie Cunningham went from being a huge meme with her point that she displayed on the WNBA court when it came time for people to see how she played some of the top athletes in the WNBA. We don't need to talk about it. Big shouts out to Mia O'Brien. And then Gary Trent Jr. had his worst season statistically ever, but somehow has acquired a $64 million contract, which is now under investigation by the NBA. And then Gable Stevenson had his UFC debut at UFC 329 in the heavyweight division, which he demolished the competition, which we kind of knew. Out of the three gentlemen, which one do you think had the best week ever?
Gable Stevenson to me. I mean, making his debut, or he's young in the game, and you go into the octagon and you do what you did, which is dominate and win. There was a reason why it was a minus $2,400 favorite.
Oh my God.
He's really good. He's really, really good. He's a good wrestler, great wrestler, and he's a great MMA fighter. And I think he's on the fast track to making strides in terms of title contention. So Gable Stevenson, but I'm a Sophie Cunningham fan. I'm a huge Sophie Cunningham fan. So
big. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little later too. Yeah. Bobby G, who you think had the best week ever?
Oh, it's Jordan Walker.
Oh, we left out Jordan Walker. Right.
Jordan Walker, man. The young man, I think for the season is earning just under $800,000 for his contract. But by winning that home run derby, he earned himself $1 million. So essentially, he earned a second, payday, basically. Give me one up front, and not to mention, it's going to lead to endorsements. Obviously, could lead to him getting, re-signing a larger contract. So, he did well by him. So, shout out to Jordan Walker.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Walker, because you know what's going on over there in St. Louis. Out of nowhere, they're going to have to recognize that the cash register is open, and you got to pay that man. I don't know if you ever seen somebody you got to pay, but you going to have to open it up for my guy Jordan Walker, because out of nowhere, winning that competition against Schwarbs in the competition stadium. They were booing him. Everything was going crazy. We're going to talk to Ethan about that shortly, as we get into some more talk about the Major League Baseball All-Star Weekend. But I'm gonna go with Sophie Cunningham. I am. Real talk. She had an amazing week. She looked great. As she was a ring girl for UFC 329, which was a spectacle, which we'll get into later with our guy Nick Bodkins. And then on Saturday, July 11th, she was in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, balled out. And then on the 12th, she recorded 20 points, 6 for 7 from 3, and 1 assist. I don't know if you can have a better week. Okay. Unless you're Gary Trent and you realize you're going to have $64 million, but they're going to look into that. But Sophie Cunningham for sure, look great in the ring and then look even better the next day on the court. You know what I'm saying? So speaking of looking good, you know who else helps make people look good? Y'all know?
Unique trends and styles?
My God. Thank you, Uncle Scott. You're right. Unique trends and styles. That's what we do. So, of course, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock right about now. Unique Trends and Styles is specializing in the look for you. That is right. Looking sharp, style matters. Unique Trends and Styles Barbershop in Jacksonville, which is technically in Orange Park, is where it's at. They're fully staffed with amazing new barbers. Big shouts out to D. Big shouts out to Unique. Big shouts out to Biff. We're ready to give you a fresh cut. Now, if you got wigs or locks, Miss Sheree is in the building, so we will definitely give a shout out to the staff. Now, if you go and you mention that you heard it right here on the RecRoom Sports Radio podcast, you will get that 10% D or Unique 10% discount for your first cut. I don't know if you can get that anywhere else, but you can definitely get it right here with your boy. So please don't wait. Call Unique Trends 904-592-7135 right there on 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite 8A in Orange Park. Come in as a customer, return as family. Now, it's that first hour. I said we got some tickets to give away. So guess what? There are 2 games. That's right, 2 games for the Jacks Waves. And that's on Friday, the 17th, and Sunday, the 19th against the Savannah Steel. We're going to go ahead and give away that first set of tickets right about now. Bobby G, you got that phone number, don't you?
You, sir. 904-362-9901. One more time. That's 904-362-9901. Call
That's
me.
Right. 904-362-9901. Go ahead and call. We're going to get these tickets, baby. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. Right back again. It's the boy K Witch, your mama's #1 draft pick, right here on the RecRoom Sports Radio Show. That's my guy, Bobby G. That's my guy, Uncle Scott. Uncle Scott, you did some digging and found some information. What you got?
I did. The Jacksonville Wave are 15-4, first place by 5.5 games, and won 9 of their last 10 games. So this
Come on now.
Seriously. Jess and that team is doing phenomenal work this year. So congrats to them.
Okay, big shouts out to Coach Jess.
And
big shouts out to the ladies of the Jacksonville Wave. We are taking the Upshot League by storm. Okay, by force. You know how powerful a wave could be? You ever seen the tsunami? Might as well call it the Jacksonville Tsunami, because that's how they're playing right about now as they win these games. Going into the second spot right here, you know, the world is also being taken over by the observation of the World Cup. You know what I'm saying? And right now, or this past week, 2 of the biggest games, the most pivotal, some of the most glorious football to be played just happened as Argentina faced England and Spain faced France. Now, here in America, we might not be as up on football as the rest of the world because, of course, worldwide, soccer is #1. It's king. But here in America, from time to time, we catching on to it, you know, and I'm glad to be a part of the catching on. Big shouts out to Sporting Jacks. Sporting Jacks is the team here in Jacksonville, and they are going to be taking Jacksonville by storm as they begin to start their season. But I digress. The idea is, what can we compare these 2 matchups to as we try to think about what they were? Because now, as we got the winners going up against each other in the World Cup finals, we will see 2 of the best stories of world franchises ever kind of to face each other at this pinnacle point. Because I don't know if you know, but Messi is on the field. This is greatness at its height when it comes to football. So, gentlemen, as we get to talk about World Cup football, if you will, let's compare it to some things that we know here in America. So, Uncle Scott, you saw the matchups: Argentina, England, Spain, France. What's 2 of the comparisons that you can lay up for the folks?
So I would very easily the AFC title game and the NFC title game in football.
Okay, that's a good one.
Compared to the World Cup. As you said, the World Cup is soccer is world's #1 sport in America. Football's the #1 sport. So when you get down to the semifinals, it's like the AFC title game and the NFC title game.
Right.
And whichever match you want to put in the AFC, whatever, that's basically what that World Cup semifinal matchups were to America. Is the AFC NFC championship games. So that's where I would put it.
I got you. I like that one. That's a good comparison. Of course, Bobby G, you got something to lay up with that one?
I'm gonna compare it to John Elway and Peyton Manning.
Oh, Peyton Manning, Elway. I like it.
Reason being, Messi's getting out there. He's 39 years old. Any day, anytime he could say, you know what, I've got enough from the game. The game is giving me enough. I'm out. And it's kind of like, we want to see the great ones go out on top. So I think for people who are not countrymen, most people are cheering for Messi to get it done, even though he took it home in 22. You still want to see guys like that go out on top. So compared to just watching the great one, hoping he goes out on top, and if it is the end, just seeing him take that last ride.
Yeah, 100%. Seeing him take that last ride is one of the biggest draws, I guess you can call it, to the World Cup, because everybody know Lionel Messi, Ronaldo,
yeah,
Kaká, Mbappe. We know these names, but to see them do their thing at the peak of sport, I think is really different. And it's really one of those things that, especially playing in America on American soil, I can only imagine the draw. I'm here in Jacksonville, and I got a chance to drive by, I think it's called the Block, if you will. Big shouts out to the Block in Jacksonville. And the Brazil game was going on. Okay. And I'm talking about there were Brazilian jerseys everywhere. I'm not saying I never knew there were Brazilians in Jacksonville, but I was like, God dog, they took over when it came to that. But two things. I'm not the biggest baseball guy, but this is a baseball show later on. So I was like, okay, what is this a good comparison to, right? So Argentina and England, okay, is somewhat of a Red Sox-Yankee international type of game. Of course, the Red Sox and the Yankees in Major League Baseball is a huge rivalry. Some history that we have kind of made omnipresent. You know what I'm saying? There's something every year where we got to talk about Red Sox Yankees. I don't care how good they're doing. There's baggage inside of each of the matchups when you talk about the Red Sox and Yankees, and that is exactly what was going on with Argentina and England, because Messi is there, but at the same time, there are a lot of the conversations about, like aging Yankees or the teams together when they were good. Like, that's kind of like what the English team was, put together to win and to take over and to possibly make it all the way to the World Cup Finals, but unfortunately falling short, as the Yankees have on multiple occasions, and they watch the quote-unquote bad guys right off into the sunset like the Red Sox do. That's what Argentina's doing. And then you look at the other side of the coin. Spain and France is like a little bit of basketball. Was like a storied matchup. These are teams that have played each other multiple times. The matchups involved are oftentimes with teammates that play in these European leagues and these Champions Leagues and things like that. So it's kind of like Lakers Celtics. The matchup is like the brain versus the brawn of the sport. Okay. It feels like a classic Lakers Celtics matchup because Spain has a great system, right, that they've been implementing for years. And then like you got that Rodri and Lamine Yamal. Okay. I don't know if have y'all seen that picture where like Messi's watching Lamine Yamal and now Lamine Yamal is playing and that's what the matchup will be. There are some huge implications in this, as then eventually Lamine Yamal will play Messi in the final years of his career. This is a huge thing. This is a star-studded event because, of course, we were watching, the matchups as if, hey, France is the team to beat. But somehow, some way, this is where the rubber meets the road when they play Spain, And then the Argentina matchup is one of those where, hey, everybody's going, these guys can't win in the 90 minutes that they are allotted. They got to win in overtime, quote unquote. They got to win on penalty kicks. But a win is a win in American sports. A W is a W. So now going into the, World Cup, this is a big deal. And I'm like, is this like the Super Bowl, if you will, gentlemen? Kind of like the Super Bowl?
Okay.
Yeah, worldwide, I'd say yes. Worldwide, I'd say yes. United States, I'd say probably not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Bobby G, like when you think about the World Cup matchup, the finals matchup, that will be probably one of the most watched events in TV history because, it's going to be streamed. You're going to be watching it on, phones, tablets. People going to be like, in mud huts somewhere. I have no idea where they watch.
Mud huts.
Yeah. Hey, listen, there is some huts out here, and they gonna have that internet. They're gonna have Wi-Fi that day. Those huts will have Wi-Fi that day and that day only, and they will be together watching the World Cup Finals. When we see the magnitude, when you think about the magnitude of a World Cup final with these two teams finally facing off, Spain and Argentina, going crazy. What do you think about that matchup and what kind of spectacle that'll be?
More like a top-tier boxing match.
Ooh.
Like there's so many when come on, Mayweather Pacquiao. Granted, it didn't happen when he wanted it to, but still, like that, like there's just certain matchups that just get you going. You know, Ali Fritz, like just imagine some of the biggest individual boxing matches of all time. Still to this day, you just say the name and you're like, yeah, wow, that's what it's like.
Yeah, I'm with you. 100%. I wasn't thinking about boxing, but that is a good one. You know, the idea is Spain and Argentina have a lot of history. So when I think about boxing analogy, is it like Ali Frazier? Like Ali Frazier 3? You know what I'm saying? The Rumble in the Jungle? The Rumble in the Jungle is one thing. The Thriller.
Leonard Hearns.
I say what?
Leonard Hearns.
Yeah, Hagler Hearns.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a great one. And you know, if you ever get a chance to, you know, Google that Hagler Hearns, okay, you know, and ask your daddy about that, okay, because Hagler Hearns was one of those ones. Uncle Scott, did you get a chance to see Hagler Hearns?
Three rounds of quote unquote HE double hockey sticks was Hagler Hearns.
Yeah.
Yes. I did. I saw that one. I saw Leonard Hagler. I've seen a bunch of the boxing matches. Holyfield Tyson is another one.
Oh yeah,
you might want to compare it to a little bit. If you're talking about boxing, Duran and Leonard in the day was a good rivalry.
Ooh,
so those rivalries that you can compare this to, it's going to be high intense, very hot, very warm. In New York on, I think it's Sunday, isn't it Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday, the 19th.
Yeah, right in the middle of the day when the heat is at its greatest. So again, it could be a little bit less than what everybody expects, but I still think it's going to be great theater to see if Messi can finish this off.
We're playing in Newark at MetLife in the Swamp.
At MetLife Stadium, Yep, that's what they're playing.
Big shouts out to everybody in Newark and all of our fans all around the world checking us out. So, man, again, although we aren't the biggest World Cup fans here in America, this is going to be a monumental moment that you can't miss. I can't lie. I'm going to have at least one of my TVs on it. I'm going to be walking about, picking up kids like I always do, and basically celebrating with the rest of the world as we watch one of the biggest matchups ever to be had on the pitch, as they call it, in football.
2 years will be the thing. That's the Women's World Cup in 2 years.
Ooh, yeah.
That's where the United States is really, really good in the Women's World Cup. So that'll be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, you know the women. We ain't playing. Anything that involves our women, we ain't playing. Yeah. Basketball, we ain't playing. Soccer, you don't want to play us. Anyway, man, we got so much left to do. Don't forget, it is another game. There's a game on Friday, speaking about the women, for the Jacksonville Waves against the Savannah Steel. But I got tickets for Sunday. That's right, July 19th. Going right now. So go ahead and call in. Bobby G, give me that number one more time, my brother.
904-362-9901. That's 904-362-9901.
That's right, man. Go ahead and call up. Get them tickets for Sunday's game. Go see the Wave take on the Steel for the second time because we're trying to go 2-0 over the weekend here in Jacksonville. And we got my boy Ethan Eibe showing up next week, representing the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I said next week. I'm talking about next. He about to do it right now. As soon as we come back from break, it's your boys from the RecRoom Sports Radio Show right here on ESPN 690. Let's do it. Yes, sir. That's right. We back. It's the boys from the RecRoom Sports Radio Show right here in the building, as we always do. Of course, I got Uncle Scott. I got Bobby G.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason, we would be remiss if we would negate the severity, the enormity, the looming perception of the Major League Baseball All-Star Week that just took place. And I'm talking about, I feel like it snuck up on me, but that just lets you know that the year's going by rather quickly. Because I swear, if we sneeze, we're going to be saying Merry Christmas. Okay? But right about now, when we got to talk about baseball, there's only a few people that I can refer to. One of them, or rather two of them, are on the show. But the third is someone that I have gotten to know, kick it with a little bit, hang out in the studio with once or twice, and he has blessed us with his presence once again. So here comes my guy from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp and their production team, Ethan Eibe, ladies and gentlemen. Ethan, what to do?
How's it going, guys? How's it going? Bobby G, Uncle Scott, Jay-Witt, great to see you.
What's up?
Of course.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Having a good time. Ready to talk some baseball. And like you said, there is a lot to go over from the week that was. We've had the All-Star break and all the events that come with that. So certainly a fun time, even though we're not having any regular season games going on, at least throughout the week.
For sure. And, you know, this thing that I like to call observation through just being locked in, right? The spectacle that was the All-Star game, I feel like was at like a peak. I've watched a couple of them, but this was a little different. Uncle Scott said it was a little different. I agree with him. If Alan was here, I think he would feel the same way. When you think about the energy that went into not just the game, but the home run derby as well, was this like one of the more storied All-Star weeks that you got a chance to observe?
I kind of half agree with that, I would say. I think the actual All-Star game itself, the actual game that was played, was at least a little bit underwhelming, I guess, from an offensive perspective. I mean, it was very pitching dominated. AL shut out the NL 4-0. But I think there was something special about this game in particular, with it being, of course, you know, the 250th anniversary of our nation and everything that is tied into that with baseball year over year. I think Philadelphia did it right. I think it was the right place to host that game. You know, they always tend to announce at least a year or two in advance where the next game is going to be. All the way back in 2019, I think that is when they announced 2026. By the way, we're claiming Philadelphia for that ahead of time. And they did pretty good with all of that, for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of, you know, bringing things in with perfect timing, one time for our guy, of course, can't talk about baseball without him. AP Alan Perez, ladies and gentlemen. AP, what it do?
What's up, guys? Happy.
So, Ethan, let's talk about the second half now. We'll start with the Jumbo Shrimp. What do they have to do to maintain their position or get into first over Rochester in terms of the second half? What do you think?
It's been a tough beginning to the second half for the Jumbo Shrimp, no doubt about that. The last couple of series have not gone their way. They only were able to take one win last week against the Durham Bulls, took 1 out of 5. We had one rain out. So, you know, it's an opportunity here. This next 10-day stretch, they will be on the road. They will not be back in Jacksonville until the 28th. They'll open up this next portion of games 3 against Rochester, and then the week after that, they will be going on the road to Worcester. It's tough. You know, there's a lot of good pieces on this team. I talked about them a little bit the last time I was on the show. Guys like Kemp Alderman and Davison De Los Santos are really the aircraft carriers in that lineup. But it always comes down to the bigger picture, right? Which is, how does the Marlins organization tie in to what the Jumbo Shrimp are doing? Because that's just how it is at the minor league level. One thing that also went down this past week was, of course, the MLB draft. And so a lot of these guys that are slowly but surely going to get signed. Maybe a few of them who are in high school go on to their college careers, but a good portion of those 20 players are going to get signed, and they're going to have to filter their way into this minor league system. So you might see some reinforcements start to come up for the Jumbo Shrimp as maybe they start pushing guys up from the AA level in Pensacola.
Yeah.
Alan, you're welcome to the show, of course.
Sorry, what? Pitching is the key for Jacksonville, you think? Or is there something else?
I would say pitching has been a strength of this team for the vast majority of this year. We've always been up there as far as strikeouts go, earned runs allowed, and everything as far as that goes. There are a couple of guys, like we talked about Braxton Garrett the last time I was on this show.
Yeah.
If they decide to keep him, he's been a big piece of that rotation, no doubt about that. I wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and traded him, to be honest with you, because he's been dominating the IL. And by my estimation, if they're not going to give him another shot at the big leagues here this season with Miami, he's only pitched in a couple of games. He's done enough to earn a second chance. I think it's very likely he gets packaged with another player, whoever that might be, for some help at the trade deadline. Because like I said, it all goes back up to the top, and it's a Marlins team that is looking to add at the deadline, which is something I can't believe I'm saying out loud. If you told me that 2 months ago, I would have called you crazy. But now, with the deadline looming August 3rd, only a couple weeks of games until then, we may very well see some minor league players and maybe even some shrimp players that get packaged up into deals. I don't think they're going to make any tremendously large splashes. They're not going to go for a big fish as a rental, to put a pun on that. But I do think that they're going to add strategically. I think that's at least how it's being reported right now, guys.
Alan can tell you, we had the Marlins, I think all three of us, Alan, top 10, right, last night?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So we're very high on the Marlins right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to feel that way, I mean, going into the break, it wasn't ideal to drop 3 games in a row to Cleveland, but you look at the broader scope of the last couple of months, and they've been the hottest team since June 1st. It's not an easy task coming out of the break and playing the Brewers in their house. That's a pretty good team as well. But I remain optimistic. I mean, this team is on pace for at or near 90 wins. I had this team pegged to win between 80 and 83 games this year, so they're already outdoing my own expectations.
Yeah. Alan, of course, is in the building, one of the hosts of Diamond Talk. Welcome, Alan. I know you had a question or two you put in the chat.
Yeah. So the other Florida team, Tampa Bay, obviously they've been the best team in the American League for a majority of the season. Looking at the second half now, is it essentially their conference to lose, or is there another AL team that maybe could surprise us here down the line?
I think there is. I think you can never say it's a sure thing. Before I get into that, shout out the Rays for, a couple weekends ago, they retired Evan Longoria's number 3, so that was great, honoring a franchise legend. But it's been a tremendous season for them. They're up at 56 wins now, and you've still got the Yankees looming. They're 3 games back of the Rays for first. And the Red Sox are not quite out of this just yet. I mean, it's still a long shot at 11 games back, but they're only 2 games under 500, and they won 9 out of 10 heading in. I know. But they won 9 out of 10 heading into the break. And things are starting to turn around there a little bit. But if I have to be honest with you guys, the team that I think presents the biggest challenge, maybe in the AL besides the Rays, how about the White Sox? And even the Guardians. Even the Guardians in the Central look pretty good. I don't feel like anybody in the West is going to make a ton of noise, to be honest with you. But I think the White Sox need to be taken seriously. They've got 3 20-homer guys. Murakami has energized this lineup. Miguel Vargas kind of came out of nowhere. And maybe even as soon as next year, the number 1 draft pick, Rock Chalowski, is going to make his debut. I think he's going to be fast-tracked. Picked 1-1 out of UCLA. There's a lot to like about that White Sox team.
Let's not forget Vargas also.
He's hitting on all our teams out.
Right. I was going to say, let's not forget Vargas 2 years ago was a part of that White Sox team that lost, 121 games a couple of years ago, and he's done a complete 180 in the last couple of years. He's an all-star this year, so gotta give it to him.
To add on to that, though, remember he was traded from the Dodgers to the White Sox in the middle of that season. He literally went from best to worst as far as records go, and this guy was so dejected. But yes, you're right. He's certainly turned it around. So that was great to see from him, and great to see his All-Star Game homer as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a layup. I'm just going to throw this out there. We got a chance to see the thing that we like to see when we watch the Home Run Derby. We saw 2 guys out there bombing it back to back, crazy inning. Bobby brought it up earlier and mentioned, of course, that Jordan Walker went out there and showed out in front of a hostile crowd. That type of energy is what we want to see more often. What were your thoughts from this year's home run derby and how it was, laid out and then the spectacle?
Yeah, first of all, what Jordan Walker did was simply incredible. When you've got thousands of Philadelphians, for the most part, booing the crap out of you, and to come up big like that to knock off their guy in their house, that's something special. And I think that Jordan Walker is certainly a guy to keep an eye on moving forward. But I really liked the new format for this year. Getting rid of the clock, I think, was a good move by Major League Baseball. I think, first of all, yes, did we see as many home runs as we've seen in years past? No, we did not. However, I think that getting rid of the clock makes you appreciate each home run even more, because in the past we've seen guys, you're trying to get as many in as you can while you have the time, but you can't really appreciate each home run. These are 490, 500-foot shots that we have to cut away from on TV because, oh God, we have to catch the next pitch. For each swing, it mattered that much more. And as a fan, I think you were able to appreciate that a little bit more. Plus, less of an injury risk there, trying to swing, your head off, through 4 minutes constantly instead of taking your time, taking a breather. I think teams like that format a little bit more as well.
Man, the funny thing is, I think you hit the nail on the head. The format and the change without the clock gave us the ability to enjoy it a little more and, see guys, making the attempts to catch the ball in the stands and everything. Oh, snap. That was the cowbell, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, Ethan, that cowbell means we are running out of time for the hour. Do us a huge favor. Run us down what you'll be doing for the rest. Well, not for the rest of the season, but for the upcoming week for the Jack's Jumbo Shrimp and where we can find you, brother.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're back on ESPN 690 tomorrow for our game against Rochester on the road. Again, we're back at ViStar Ballpark in Jacksonville, July 28th against Memphis. We'll be back for a whole week then. You can find me on social media anywhere you want to go at EIBEPXP. That is EIBEPXP. It's been a real joy being on the broadcast this year with Scott Kornberg and Matt Davis. Those guys are legends. And yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to join you guys again. We'll do this again soon.
That's right. We'll do it real soon because we got to cut to a commercial break. Thanks, Brian. Ethan, we will be back with you and talk more baseball right here on the RecRoom Sports Radio show. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Only the strong survive. That's right, man. It's your boy K. Witch, Mama's #1 draft pick. This is the RecRoom Sports Radio Show. Man, we got the gang in the building. Big shouts out to Ethan Eibe for joining us from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, giving us the update as the MLB weekend comes, or MLB week comes to a close. We got AP Allen Peralta's in the building. We got Bobby G, Uncle Scott, and for some odd reason, we've got to do what we do always on the second hour. That's when we bring the internet to your radio. You got to say it right. We got to bring the internet to your radio because this past weekend, a spectacle was had. That's right. I don't know how to necessarily classify it but it was a spectacle. It was supposed to be. Out there in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, the return of the Mac was supposed to happen, and it ended with a crack, unfortunately. So we got to bring in my boy, my guy, from Head Kicks and Haymakers and the Bodkins Show, where he does his thing with his guys. What it do to my boy, Nick Bodkins? What's up, my guy?
What's good, Whit? You mentioned it was supposed to be a spectacular return. In fact, I equivalent to like a going out to the bar when I was a young 21-year-old, and you start making out with a nice young lady, and she says, at the end of closing time, she says, "Hey, why don't you come back to my place?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, girl, I'm going back to our house." We get all excited, and then she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go freshen up," and you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And you get real excited. Then you go, and she falls asleep, and you're left with nothing. And that's the return of Conor McGregor on Saturday night. Is the best I can say. I mean, that was nothing. I mean, one star went out on Saturday night in Conor McGregor, but we got maybe the biggest star of the night Saturday, and that was Patty Pimblett. I mean, if you watch that crowd, from the minute before his music hit, that crowd was chanting "Patty da Patty, Patty da Patty," and then not only does he hit the walkout, that his fight lasted less than Conor's fight. So then he gets the submission on BSD, hits the microphone, nails it. Patty was already a star, but I thought on Saturday night, the star grew brighter, and the star grew on Saturday night. I came away thinking Patty's the biggest star in the UFC right now, and I may not be. And I don't know if anybody's had a better 2-month period than Patty Pimblett. Right back in January, he loses to Justin Gaethje. You're like, "Oh, Patty's not that good." Then Gaethje becomes the champion. You're like, "Well, that loss isn't that bad." He at least finished the fight, unlike Ilya, and then he does what he does on Saturday night. I thought it was Patty's time, and it's Conor. He can say what he wants. I told you last Thursday that I was worried about Conor and his 5-year layoff. Now we're coming off another injury. Looks like meniscus, ACL. Those are the two, either one that you're circling. He does have good thing for Conor. For him personally, he has one fight left on his UFC deal. Who knows when he'll get that in? I do think he'll get that in. So I do think we'll see him at least one more time in the UFC after that. And the UFC is not going to give him a softball. They're going to feed him to the absolute wolves. And that way his name is completely tarnished on his way out the door. And they're going to say goodbye to you on his next fight. He has one fight left. Don't know who that'll be. Max is asking for a trilogy. I felt like that felt on deaf ears on Saturday night. Right. If I'm Max, I'm asking for the trilogy too, right? I mean, Max just got paid the most of his life for doing absolutely nothing. Pulls back up to the fight number 3, going to get paid a bunch of money, and a guy that he could probably easily beat, I thought, as well. So those were the biggest takeaways from UFC 329. Mario Batista, folks, write this name down. He is getting disrespected. What he did to Corey Sandhagen on Saturday night was unbelievable. For sure. I think he is a 1 win away from the title fight. I think if they match him up and Sean O'Malley next, 2 Arizona boys, they're friends, 2 former teammates, but as we know in this game, friends got to fight each other, teammates got to fight each other every once in a while if you want to get that title shot. And he already said, "Hey, bring me Sean." I think that's kind of what's next. The fight of the night, I mean, Brandon Royval, folks, I think he's going to go write him down as one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC as well. His last few fights have been exciting. Guy's always game. I thought he was incredible Saturday night. It was kind of my biggest takeaways from UFC 329.
Yeah, man, and you hit the nails on the head when it comes to Patty and the ascension of his star. I think that the only other person that I can kind of compare it to, because it was meteoric when it happened, was how Sean O'Malley took off about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and like it was just going off to the races pretty much with him.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't, Patty kind of needs the title to kind of get there, right? He doesn't, I thought, I think he needs the title to kind of get to get to Sean's where he was. Sean was at least a champion, but I think right now Patty's star has kind of surpassed Sean as far as just kind of maybe where right now. But I mean, at least globally, I think Patty's kind of the bigger name. At least he's got the England crowd and here as well, plus the Barstool deal. I think Sean's kind of taken a step back from those Marab's losses. Not saying like I think he's taken a step back himself just because like he's not doing the media and pursuing all this stuff. Like he's taken, I think, a little bit more of the fight game, a little bit more. It humbled him a little bit more than anything. So that kind of star's not as bright as Patty's is right now.
Yeah, for sure. Uncle Scott, you said you got one for him, right?
Yep. Nick Pimlet, next fight, a championship fight, you think? It's gotta be.
No, it's not. No, it's another one. He might have. Well, he just fought for the interim back in January against Justin Gaethje, and he offered nothing. I think his next fight, the biggest fight the UFC can do right now is Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria. They have a beef that's been going on for like 5 years. Backstory: a couple years ago in London, Paddy threw a hand sanitizer, threw a bottle at him, or they've had beef and words since. And at 2 months ago, I would have told you there's no way Paddy's not in Ilya's orbit anymore. But after the loss at the White House and Paddy's win, it's time to make that fight. That's the fight to circle. That's the biggest fight that I think the UFC could make in the lightweight division. It's bigger than in the title fight.
What are we looking at? About October for that fight? September, October?
I think you're looking at best, maybe November at best. They usually go to a big card at MSG. It depends on Ilya's side. We know Paddy didn't take any damage on this fight, right? Like he went in there and was able to snatch BSD's neck and put an awesome hold on him. That was incredible.
One of the best.
Yes, that might be submission of the year, at least for my money right now. And I think at best, it depends on Ilya, but at best November. I personally think I would maybe hold off to that early part of next year, and if you're going to go to Europe or something like that. But I was kind of talking to my co-host Bobby last night about this, and he's like, Paddy can no longer do fight nights; he has to be pay-per-view. So MSG makes the most sense. And after the fight, Hunter Campbell and Dana told Paddy loves to get fat, real fat after his fights. I mean, he's walking around 265, I think, after fights sometimes.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He gets big. He gets bulked up, and they told him don't eat too much pizza because you're going to be turning around. They want to turn him around quick, and I think they got to do him and Ilya MSG as a co-main event would be perfect.
Yeah, man, I'm 100% with you on that. If I would have got a chance to join the guys on Head Kicks and Haymakers on Wednesdays like you do with our guy Bobby, I definitely would have brought that up. I think it's more so the recovery time for Ilya that will affect that. And it's not just the physical, but I think the mental. Ilya went out there and got smashed, technically, but he fought as long as he could with what I would think would be like maybe double orbital breaks. He broke both of his orbitals. He does look like, if you see pictures now, looks well, but as you know, that's not being punched in the face. Right.
Like that tissue's still soft, so it'll take some time. So it'll be interesting if he comes back. A lot of people have said like Ilya should be done for the year and take a year off and then come back, but he's only fought once this year. I'd like to see him maybe come back, but I wouldn't push it. I wouldn't, if he's like, hey, I'm gonna take the rest of the year off after that beating that he got. I'm okay with that. Yeah, understood. Right, you broke two orbibles and then you're gonna sign up to fight less than 6 months later. It's people have done it, but we'll see. I do think that's the biggest fight, and I think that would be a great co-main event at MSG.
Now, before we move on to UFC Fight Night this weekend, I got one last question for you about it. Best debut Robbie Whittaker at 205 or Gable Stevenson at 265? Who was the best debut, bro?
So I thought both guys did exactly what I thought they were going to do. I am not buying in. I'm not like my stock on Gable is already high. He did what he was supposed to do. He went in there, he beat the brakes off of a guy that nobody had heard of and nobody cared about. And that's what he was supposed to do. Like he handled business, right? It was like Alabama playing Alabama State, or something, Alabama State Tech, like that's Alabama, and you're like, oh, Alabama beat them 42-0. Yeah, that's what they were supposed to do, and that's what Gable went in there did Saturday night. I think he's going to be really good. He's still green. This is only his fourth MMA fight ever, so like they still got to feed him like bottom guys. People pump the brakes on like giving him like somebody like Josh Hokett or a top 5 UFC guy, a top 5 heavyweight. Even the heavyweight division is very thin. I mean, it's super thin. It's like John Wayne toilet paper thin. But that's just like I do think that he can work his way. They got to slow build Gable Stevenson just because he is so green. You don't want to have him go in there. I mean, we saw him take some punches. I mean, he went in there and he ate some.
Yeah, he ate a couple.
Ate a couple. You do that against some elite guys, you're going to be going night-night. I am encouraged though, like didn't have to use the wrestling, used his hands, and he's got the GOAT in his corner. I said this last week. And when you got John Jones in your corner, like those guys know what they're doing. He knows what he's doing. He'll get there eventually. Let's just not rush it. I thought Bobby Knuckles, he was on Ariel Helwani's show and said he wants pretty much three fights left. I don't know if he'll get to a title fight at light heavyweight, but I thought after he kind of he looked beefy. I called him beefy Bobby Knuckles Saturday night. So he looked every bit of 205. His 185, they're like after he won, he's like, my 185 days are done. And I was like, no freaking duh. I'm looking at you. Just like my 185 days are done too, Bobby Knuckles, about 10 years ago or so. Right. So, that's kind of where I look at. I think Bobby's the second round on. It took him a little while, I think, to get his feet wet. And then second round, and then when he broke the dude's freaking knuckles. Jaw. That was just nasty. And I would like to give him somebody kind of higher ranked and see kind of where he is. Him and Khalil Roundtree would be a fun one. Khalil was supposed to fight in 2 weeks and got injured, so why not just, now the timeline kind of fits for him and Bobby later, either later this year or early part of next year. But I like, we'll see what happens to Bobby Knuckles here. I thought both were great. If I had to pick one, I would say Bobby Knuckles just because a little bit more adversity there.
Big shouts out to my guy, Sam Dean. That's right, Mr. First Down, the biggest Tennessee Titans fan in the world. He's in the brochure, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, as we move on to the weekend, man, we got UFC Fight Night. This is a big one. Technically, two guys who were at the top of the division multiple times. We got Dricus du Plessis and one of the best to ever lace them up, Kamaru Usman, facing each other and the main event this weekend. Bro, other than that, there are some really good fights on this. Give me like two that you really got your eye on for the UFC Fight Night, bro.
Yeah, I really like the main event is what it's all about for me. The co-main event, unfortunately, Kevin Holland, that fight got pulled, and that was the co-main event. But I even like this fight, Christian Leroy Duncan versus Jared Cannonier. I think is going to be a very good one. It's a big jump for Duncan here because Cannonier's fought for the title. He's a guy who's been in this game. He is kind of at the tail end of his career. He's got more fights in his rearview mirror than he does in the windshield. But this is a big jump for CLD, and I actually like Cannonier here as kind of as to pull the upset here. In fact, I like even in the main event I like both dogs on this card in the co-main and main. I think I am worried about Dricus du Plessis. What we saw Hamzat do to Dricus back in August for the title. Hasn't fought since. He's taken on Kamaru. We know Kamaru is now moving up to middleweight. I think he took this fight because he saw what Hamzat did to Dricus, says, hey, if I can go in there and I can wrestle Dricus and beat him, I'm probably maybe next in line for a title shot or one fight away. So like that's the quickest way back to the title. So he's moving up from 170. Usman's top, what you could say he's on Mount Rushmore of welterweights of all time. And, I wouldn't have any argument against that. You could say he's probably number 2 behind GSP at this point, and I wouldn't have really any arguments. But now moving up to 185, I am a little worried. I mean, Dricus is a big 185er already. This is a guy who cuts a lot of weight, so I'm a little worried about that part. But I do think Usman, with his wrestling and craftiness, will be able to take him down, hold him, and beat him. I think it's like +3. I think money line Usman's like +200 something, but I think if you do Usman by decision, I think it's like +300 plus. I really like that one. I really like that, and that's probably the way I'm going to go. And I'm probably going to bet Cannonier money line. I just think Cannonier as well, and the co-main can get it done against CLD here. If I was going to bet Dricus, because he's so awkward, I think it's +100. I mean, so you would double your money a little bit. But I'd like Dricus by knockout if I was going to sprinkle some money on Dricus here on the main. So kind of hedge your bet either way.
Hey, man, speaking of money, we got the guys from Lock It In on the show. So we got to definitely sprinkle a little bit of that UFC in there. Thank you so much for joining us, Bodkins. It's wild because out of nowhere, there goes that cowbell. Out of nowhere. Bro, in real life, I appreciate you bringing it in. If I see anything remotely that reminds me of Usman wrestling Joaquin Buckley, I'm with you 100%. It's a possibility that we could see Usman, in another division, tearing it up, possibly right there in the wake of a title shot. But man, Dricus, man, he's such an awkward fighter. This could definitely be one of Usman's greatest challenges. But once again, man, tell us where we can catch you at, Bodkins, on your network and on Wednesdays, of course.
Yeah, you can catch me on the Bodkins show every Wednesday and Thursday for the most part. We'll be doing the NFL show. I think tonight I won't be there, but the boys will be holding it down, talking NFC East preview. And then I will be doing we did Head Kicks and Haymakers every Wednesday, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern. So if you want to catch the full breakdown of our thoughts on UFC 329 and this week's card, check it out. Please like, subscribe, share. Appreciate your wit. Appreciate you, boys. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Nick.
Of course, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the great Nick Bodkins, and we will be back in just a moment. We're going to talk some quarterbacks because we're getting ready to start the NFL seasons right here on the RecRoom Sports Radio show. Hey, Brian, play something for the homies. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. We back. It's the boys from the RecRoom Sports Radio show right here on ESPN 690 in the Anajar and Levine studios. Big shouts out to everybody out there, Unique Trends and Styles, watching the show, holding us down. Mr. Ray, we see you. Unique, we see you. D, we see you. Biff, Shannon, my guys, the whole crew, what it do. This is one of those moments where we got to break off and do what we do best. You know, every once in a while, we get that whiff of football, ladies and gentlemen, and we can't help but sniff it out and turn it into something that we got to talk about because it's close. Not as close as we wanted to be, but it is close. Football season is right around the corner. So when this happens, lists just start coming out of the woodwork, and this is what makes us talk about it. So 2 lists hit the internet recently, and we're going to do this for our special delivery today. So if you don't know, Chris Fowler, that's right, of ESPN, that's right, one of the writers from ESPN, awesome journalist, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, made a 2026 NFL quarterback ranking list, which he compiled by surveying over 70 NFL executives, coaches, and scouts. So he didn't really put it together himself, but he did ask some really important people. And then right behind that, the son of the great Phil Simms, Chris Simms, made a top 10 QB list of all time. Now, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, we get real deep when it comes to this football stuff. Do us a big favor. Go look up the list for yourself. Remember, I said Jeremy Fowler and Chris Simms, top 10 QB list, one of all time and one of this 2026 NFL season. So if we're going to do it, who is delivering the best list? Because these 2 lists are completely different from one another, but where is the wrong instances for this list? Because somebody's missing some people and somebody has some rankings incorrect. Bobby G, I'll start with you because I see your face.
As far as Chris Simms all-time list, like really the only one I have a problem with is like Lamar Jackson. But Josh Allen, maybe too early for Josh Allen, but definitely Lamar. Lamar over Dan Marino. Lamar over Tom Brady. That's preposterous.
Yeah.
That's just preposterous.
Well, here's the thing. This is a Texas QB you're also talking about, too. You never trust a Texas quarterback. I'm sorry.
Wow. Oh, Alan. Thanks for joining us, Alan. Thanks.
Alan. Thanks for coming in, Alan.
All right.
And Joe Montana?
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
Joe Montana is not a top 10 quarterback of all time, according to Chris Simms. At number 9 is Brady, and this is what he said about Brady. He's lower due to his focus on prime performance and not career longevity. How many years did Brady play? 21? 22?
22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
22. That's career longevity to me. If you're playing 22 years and get hurt one time in his career, one time.
Yeah.
That's career longevity. So I don't know what Chris Simms is talking about with Brady at 9. Now, is he number 1 when you factor in everything? I don't know if he's number 1. He's the top guy, but he's got to at least be top 3 or 4. I mean,
now of course,
you can't say that about Brady.
Listen,
I don't know. I had him 5.
How's he 5? See, this is what we're going to do. So Alan is joining us. We did get a chance to hear much from Alan because he's coming fresh off of work. So Alan, if you could deliver a proper ranking for maybe the top 5 and move some names around, who is missing from that all-time QB list?
I think Scott said it best. Where is Joe Montana? To me, I'm sorry. I know I'm a young guy, but I still have Joe Montana number 1. Just based on what he did alone. And he did it in a tougher era where you basically got away with everything on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would have Joe Montana at least top 3, if not number 1 or 2. And Brady as well. Brady, I would have top 3. Say what you want about him, but longevity, won 7 Super Bowls, most out of any player in NFL history. You got to respect that. I would not have Lamar Jackson anywhere in the top 5, let alone top 10. I'm sorry. If he's not ranked top, if he's barely top 5,
Whoa.
What
Sorry about
happened?
that. Your microphone went out, Alan. You said you would not have Lamar Jackson in the top 10 list at all currently?
not all time. Absolutely not all time.
It would
Absolutely.
be top 20 for me.
Mm-mm. We
And
got
so,
to. And this is the problem I have with today's media is they forget the past. They don't talk about the guys that paved the way for the game today.
But that's not an excuse for Chris Sims. He's old enough to know.
He is old enough to, again, the Texas education comes into play. I'm just saying. You're looking at a quarterback too who is a career backup and who's only known for a play that happened against him in Red River. That's the only way anybody knows Chris Sims. I'm sorry.
Wow.
You got Staubach on there. No Johnny Unitas. And Johnny Unitas is literally the favorite quarterback of half the guys on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a flag bearer to some guys, especially a lot of the guys that came up and wanted to play quarterback back in the day. A lot of guys would always watch film on Johnny Unitas.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, now this is the conversation of the past, and you guys have made some really great points. I'm going to say this about the way that it's set up for the past conversation from Chris Sims and the Unbuttoned podcast. Big shouts out to them. Peyton Manning, don't get it twisted. Peyton Manning is out here in these streets when it comes to the top of the tops, but everybody has said a name and that's missing, which is, of course, Montana. But I'm going to tell you, it's a guy who's one of the few quarterbacks in or around 6 foot tall who, for some odd reason, is not on this list. And I think maybe if there's an honorable mention, he should be at minimum honorable mention. But I'm like, in real life, where's Drew Brees? Huh?
Brees not top 10.
Can't get no love. Can't get no love for Drew Brees.
He's not top 10.
That's why I said honorable mention. Honorable mention. Drew Brees should be out here somewhere. But in my mind, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, maybe you could throw Patrick Mahomes up there. They got Favre at 5. It's tough. They got maybe Favre at 5. And then you still, the quarterbacks who have not won Super Bowls yet just move further and further down, and that will be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Now, as we talk about the QBs for this upcoming season, this list done by Jeremy Fowler and 70 people who will not be named because, of course, they're going to remain nameless. Okay, we're not going to know who these people are and what team they were in the front office of. I'm looking at this list, bro, and I'm saying top 5. How do we have Joe Burrow above Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow hasn't played a full season where we've seen him do anything besides, 2.5 to 3 years ago when he took the Bengals to the Super Bowl? But I'm not saying that Joe Burrow won't be good this season. I'm just saying that with the idea of what have you done for me lately, I would definitely put Lamar above Joe Burrow on this current list. What about you?
I would not, and here's my reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Lamar reads defenses very well.
Really?
I do not think he reads defenses very well. And I think that Burrow is a guy that, in my mind, if he's healthy, now you got to take injuries out of it. If Burrow is healthy, he's going to put up close to 5,000 yards, and he's going to put up 40 touchdowns with that offense. Can Lamar do that? I don't think so. So that'd be my problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board with Scott. He's a better quarterback.
Really?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson is one of the top 10 football players in the NFL. He's not a great quarterback. Wow. He still has trouble hitting receivers when he needs to outside the numbers. Like,
and
why do you think top receivers don't want to go to Baltimore? That says it all.
What was
AJ Brown? AJ Brown, one of the best receivers in the NFL, just demanded a trade. No, they're rumoring him going everywhere. Never rumor him going to Baltimore. Receivers don't want to go play with Lamar Jackson.
Before Zay Flowers, who was the best receiver that Lamar threw to?
Mark Andrews?
No, receiver.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
See, and that's the problem.
Did he play with Steve Smith?
He played with Steve Smith at the tail end of his career.
That probably is it. That Steve Smith at the tail end of his career was Zay Flowers. He doesn't have any receivers that want to go there.
Yeah.
At all.
They got to build a receiver. They got to draft him. That's what happens in Baltimore.
Derrick Henry or Lamar's going to take off and run with it. He cannot. He's not a 250-yard passer consistently in games. He has problems with defenses. He's just not. He's not the quarterback that everybody thinks he is. He runs a lot. That's why he's a good quarterback, because he runs a lot. If you said to Lamar, you got to stay in the pocket, throw it 50 times. Can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Like realistically, you look at this list and you see where you can make a case and say, I would have Dak Prescott, I would rather have Justin Herbert, and I would rather have Drake May right now as a quarterback over Lamar Jackson. Maybe even Jared Goff and Caleb Williams too. He might not be top 10 in some people's eyes as far as being an actual quarterback. Player, I agree with Bobby. He's a top 10 player in the league. As a quarterback, though, I don't know.
I haven't put Mahomes over Allen. I think Mahomes is number one.
I would put Matthew Stafford number one. After the year he had last year, too.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you could warrant it. You could go with it. You can make an argument.
I would also make a case for Prescott over Burrow, but Burrow and Prescott have both had health issues. And I think, and to your point, Scott, if Joe Burrow is healthy, I think he is probably one of the best, if not the best passer in the league. But I would definitely have Dak over Lamar Jackson right now.
I was just going to say,
over Prescott, he's shown the ability to win in the playoffs.
My thing is, this is a year for Dak to show who he really is, in my opinion. And he has the tools for one of the first times in a long time. And everybody will be healthy. The one thing that can negate all of that will be how the defense plays when they get on the field. If Dak Prescott can keep his defense off of the field from, going back-to-back series and being tired and showing their most, the most deficiencies, but, of course, they do have a reconstructed defensive line that we're all looking forward to see if that's going to work for them with their additions from subtraction from last season. I think Dak Prescott is right where he needs to be, and he can work his way up into that 5-4 tier. But, one thing we're not going to argue about is definitely Matthew Stafford. Okay, Matthew Stafford being 3, sliding into 2, for sure. I'm not going to argue with anybody about, the Rams and Matthew Stafford being, especially when healthy, being top 3, 2A, 1B maybe. But yeah, Matthew Stafford, regardless of age, out there in the streets right now, I'm looking forward to seeing him 2026. Not even a Rams fan.
Who's the number one quarterback in the NFL right now?
It's Mahomes.
On the list?
That's what I think. I think it's Mahomes. Go throw the list out. Who is your number one quarterback in the NFL today, right now?
With health? Minus health.
There's no. Just who's the best?
Who's the best?
Okay. Alan, who you got? Who's your best?
I'm going to say Matt Stafford.
Okay. I like that. I can almost agree with you on the Matt Stafford. Best quarterback right now, regardless of health, Matthew Stafford. Okay. And you're going to say Uncle Scott, Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes.
And Bobby G, Patrick Mahomes?
You tell me another quarterback in the league who could hit a guy in the face mask horizontal to the ground from 50 yards out.
Matthew Stafford.
No, he's never been horizontal to the ground, throwing a football 50 yards out and hit a guy dead in the face mask to the point where the ball's stuck in his face mask. He ended in the game.
If Matt Stafford had to do it, he would do it. Okay, I'll put it like that. You know,
Mahomes. The thing with Mahomes that puts him over Stafford for me is he could beat you with his arm and his legs. Matt Stafford can't beat you with his legs. Can only beat you with his arm.
Yeah,
that makes a difference.
He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his eyes.
Yeah, he can beat you with his mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, first of all, let's do this real quick because we're almost running out of time on this segment. We've crossed a lot of boundaries. Okay, so we got the 2026 list and the top 10 forever list from Chris Sims. Out of these two lists, gentlemen, real quick, which one of these two lists are we more in agreement with as accurate for accuracy? You know, we don't got to agree with them, but which one of the two is more accurate? Chris Sims' list or Jeremy Fowler's list? And I'll start with you, Alan.
Jeremy Fowler, easy. This is the easiest question ever.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Jeremy Fowler for one. Yeah, Uncle Scott, you want Fowler's list too?
Not even close.
Not even close. Bobby G, we locked up.
Yeah, Sims is disqualified, man. Just because Joe Montana whooped up on your daddy, there's no need for you to leave him off your list.
That's exactly why Montana's not on that list. I'll bet you is because he beat up on Phil Sims.
Wow. And then look, I'm in Jacksonville, y'all. So I gotta say it. Where is my guy? Where is my guy Trevor Lawrence on this list? I know. Top 10 right now, maybe not, but if I do some of the research right now, he missed out on the top 10 cut, but he's in that honorable mention list, right with Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love. Jalen Hurts is an anomaly for me because, of course, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win, beat Patrick Mahomes or outplayed him 2 times. Yeah, I could maybe slide him into like 9 or 10, But in the comprehensive voting breakdown of the top 20 passers, Lawrence officially landed at number 16, positioning him 1 spot behind Baker Mayfield and 1 spot ahead of Jalen Hurts. So when it comes to Trevor Lawrence and his outlook for 2026 with the newly found offense, which we are excited to see here in Jacksonville. Gentlemen, do we think that Trevor Lawrence belongs right there at 16 in between both Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts? Is that a good spot?
That's fair.
I might put him a spot or 2 ahead, up.
Yeah.
13 or 14, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I think if he does what he did last year, this year, I think you could start to make an argument that maybe he could be top 10.
Yeah. Problem with Trevor is he's competing against himself. Like when remember, he was supposed to be top 10 coming into the league.
Yeah.
Like he was supposed to be the next, and he just hasn't lived up to the hype.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's tough, man, because when you think about it, man, Bobby hit the nail on the head. It's what he was touted as when he was drafted coming out of Clemson. But last year's stats, man, 4,007 yards in the air, 6 in the NFL, 29 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 341 completions, a 60.9 completion percentage, a passer rating of 9.1, and a ESPN total QBR of 58.3, which just so happens to be 14th. This is where our QB is, Jacksonville, right there in the middle. And that's not bad. He not bad to be on the back end, but he good enough to be on the good end. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. I'm not necessarily knocking him for it because he could only get better. Y'all ever seen Sing 2? Yeah, with Buster Moon. Buster Moon said, when you are at the bottom, the only way to go is up. Speaking of up, our time is up on this segment. We got to go ahead and get to the break. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Unique Trends and Styles is right there waiting on you as we speak, because if you don't know, that's where they specialize in looking sharp. If you remember to give them a call and make an appointment at 904-592-7135, you can schedule an appointment with D or Unique and say that you heard it right there on RecRoom Sports. Get that 10% discount and go ahead and get in there and join the family, the Unique Trends and Styles family. It's us right here for the RecRoom Sports Radio Show. We got Bobby G, we got Uncle Scott, we got AP Allen Perales in the building. Man, hey, we'll be right back with just a few more things as we rock out on ESPN 690. Brian, do something for the homies. Yes, sir. We are riling up the masses when we talk about the top 10 QBs from the past and present. It's your boy K Witt right here, your mama's #1 draft pick. And word on the street is Brian wants to get into this conversation because, boy, let me tell you, he's got some things to say. Big shout out to our producer, Brian Middleton, right about now. Man, first of all, before we go any further, I got to say, we we're talking about football and we were talking about Dallas, but we forgot to say, where is our guy Jay? Okay, where is Jay? Currently, come to find out, Jay is actually parked in Dallas, 20 miles away from Arlington. So he is actually at the home of Alan's favorite team, which is the Dallas Cowboys, and they will be attending a game at AT&T Stadium this season. Big shouts out to Jay in the truck right now.
Jay, drive the truck through the stadium. Come on, buddy. Do it.
I would like to personally thank Jay for selling both his lungs so we could go to a Cowboys game this year.
Yes, Jay has a prosthetic lung, ladies and gentlemen, the first of its kind. He's using it right about now as he is on the truck. And I can't wait for us to get some coverage from the Cowboys Commanders game that Alan will be attending alongside.
I can already tell you it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
For sure. Now, as we brought up earlier in the show, it is V-Week here at ESPN. And, of course, when you put your bid in for those prizes, there is 100% of the funds go towards cancer research. But the wild thing about today's show is that we have someone who has personally seen the research work in their favor, and we have to turn the floor over to my good friend, Uncle Scott. Talk about it, Uncle Scott.
So Super Bowl Sunday came and went, and my wife was really tired. So we brought her to the emergency room. They diagnosed her with anemia, and then the doctor said, let me run one more test, see what happens. They ran one more test, ended up being leukemia. So she has been in a Boston hospital for the past 4 months, 4.5 months. This is the ring the bell week for her, which is when you ring the bell, that means you have survived and your leukemia has gone into remission, and you get to leave the hospital and you get to go home and live as normal as you can, which is not normal because you have to go back to the hospital every day and have tests and stuff like that. The Jimmy V thing, charity takes on more of an impact in my life since February. For everybody out there, please give to it. A lot of people need your help. A lot of people have this terrible disease. My wife is one of the lucky ones that has survived it via a stem cell transplant. But as much as you can donate, please donate to it. Please help out as much as you can. Watching the ESPYs today on video, there's been some heavy hitters that won the Jimmy V Award. Stuart Scott, Robin Roberts, Craig Sager, last night Jim Abbott. I mean, a lot of those people have cancer and they either have survived or in a difficult battle, and we've lost a lot of them. So again, donate. I'm very fortunate that I get to spend time with my wife now because of the stem cell transplant that has happened. Not out of the woods yet, but we'll keep fighting the fight and going to the hospital every day and getting in the treatments that you need. So,
dang right, Scott. We're gonna keep fighting with you. Keep our prayers up for you, man. And just hearing that news for me as your nephew, yeah. I'm excited for you every day. Alan, say what you got to say. What's going on?
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations, Scott, to you and your wife.
Thank you.
I'm super happy that she's gotten through it, and hopefully this means the battle is won and over. Me personally, I know how you feel. During COVID in 2020, my mom had breast cancer, and she had to go through that, and I could not see her at all with the world shutting down and everything that was happening in between. So I basically just had to sit in limbo during that whole period in time. But thankfully, she's not only beaten it, she's thrived it. She's been cancer-free since. It has been she's living her best life now, and every chance I get to go spend time with her. It's like the biggest saving grace ever. So I definitely shout out to you and your wife, Scott. That is awesome. That is awesome to hear.
Hey, man, much love from the Rec Room family for both you and Uncle Sky. And then, Brian, hit the music for me real quick because I'm going to close it out. We're going to get out of here. Yeah, man, Jimmy V week, touching everybody. So make sure you continue to send in those donations. Make sure you continue to, try and win those prizes because I think we're going to figure out a way to enter that contest to win the ESPN week where we do the podcast and do the fantasy draft. But this week right here, I just want to let everybody know, man, big shouts out to all the single parents, all of the mothers, all of the fathers around the world who are doing their best to maintain a household by themselves. My wife was gone, right? My wife was gone for a week almost. Last Thursday, she went to a conference in New Orleans, and I had to do daddy daycare all by myself, but I love all my kids. I loved on them hard. I loved on them as much as possible. I made food. I cooked on the grill. I wiped behinds. I changed diapers. I took them to daycare. I got them. I picked them up. I laid with them to go to sleep. I rocked them. I did everything I could. But ain't nothing like having another person in the house with you take care of them churn, boy. So big shouts out to all of the single mothers and single fathers out there doing their best to take care of the children. And big shouts out to my wife, who is home and supposedly cooking dinner. So I got something to look forward to. And if you notice,
Wit's on vacation. Wit's on vacation right now.
Yeah, no. Now that she's home, I got to do even more work. And if you notice, there is a picture behind me, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, do you notice this? This is a sonogram. Your boy is having one more boy. Okay, I thought it was a girl, but my wife told me, oh my goodness, there is a man's privates in this picture. So I am having one more boy, ladies and gentlemen. I just got to let the world know. So your boy K-Witt will have 4 boys all together, but in turn of how my family works, I got a family of 6. I'm blessed. My wife has blessed me with as much as she can, and that is why I want you to go hug somebody who has had children and is either taking care of them by themselves or with another person, because it ain't easy. No matter if you got 1 or 6. It's your boy K-Witt, your mama's #1 draft pick. This RecRoom Sports Jimmy V week. Celebrate with someone who has made it through cancer and hug somebody who is still fighting. We'll be back next Thursday, man. Hey, Brian, do something for the homies. We out.
See ya.